This is part 2 of Singleness with Jesus. Meeting Beans. I feel like I have so many stories of like singleness with Jesus, and I'm like,
I need to like remember.
but one of the most recent one was, I remember it so clearly because it was like that meaningful, and it was like recent too, and because I also shared it with my friends. So loneliness, let me just say, loneliness gets real, like for real. I'm not even kidding. Like, especially since I'm a girl, and like, if you know, you know. Yeah, so loneliness gets real, like very real. I was idolizing it, you know. I was like so desperate to the point that I was idolizing it, but I really had to surrender that to God and give it to God. And so whenever I moved out by myself, like it was my first time ever living by myself, it was like drastic for me. I'm like, why do I feel like this? Like, I feel so like defeated. Like, I felt so like, oh, like I'm gonna live alone, I'm so alone. I was like in my lonely cloud and in my fields of loneliness. I laugh at it now, but like for real, like now it seems so dramatic, because I mean, I am dramatic, I'm not gonna lie, I am very dramatic. But in those moments, like for real, it felt drastic, like drastic. My point is, like, God is so good, because like in those lonely moments, like he met me. He literally met me in those lonely moments, and like I had to like run to him and, you know, deal with the loneliness too, not just like dwell on it, because there were moments where when I would just dwell on the loneliness, and I'll be like in my pity and in my sorrow and my lament, and I'd be like, I'm so lonely, blah. And I had to like go to God, like, God, like, you are the only one that can fill this up. Like, you are the only one that can turn this loneliness around. Like, sometimes like I just had to like spend time with God to like feel better, you know, like spend time like in his presence, where you just like sit down and cry and cry and cry, and like you just let your burdens down to him, and you just tell him how you feel, and you just be hugged by him and comforted, and he just pours his love over you and his peace and love and everything. Yeah, you know, there were a lot of moments when I felt lonely, and like I had to seek God. It was like a way of God like kind of like pulling me, but like he wanted me to look for him in a way. Like, I'm not gonna settle just for like me venting to God. Like, I'm not settling for that. Like, God, I need your presence. Like, I need your presence. And just tell him like how much I need him, to the point where I would literally, like, it's gonna sound so crazy and dramatic and ridiculous, but it's okay. Like, I would literally get on the wall, like on the wall, like on the wall, and I'd be like, God, like, I want to feel you, like I want to feel you like if you were here physically, flesh, in the flesh. Thank you for your spirit and for your presence, but like literally I just want you physically here with me. Like, I wish I could literally like hold your hands, and I wish I could literally like put my face with his face and like be hugged, and like, you know, like how you, whenever you have like your friends or family and you just hug them and squeeze them, and like, you know, in those lonely moments, lonely desperate moments, I would literally like go crazy. But it was okay, because God doesn't judge me, you know, like he wants me to go to him. He doesn't want me to go here or over there, over there. Like, he doesn't want me to numb that loneliness with like scrolling, or like with friends, or like food, or like, I don't know, whatever we try to fill ourselves up with. Like, he wants us to go to him. Like, it doesn't matter how dramatic or ridiculous or crazy we look, like he literally comforts us afterwards. And I love that. I love that. And it's crazy because sometimes I like forget like how easy access we have like to God, like we're so blessed, like literally we're so blessed to have access to God. Like your word says to approach you with confidence, like, you know. So I'm about to approach you with confidence and with everything I got. So what I heard while I was on my knees literally was like, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God. So like I grabbed my Bible and I like squeezed it so hard, like in my chest, because that's how I wanted to feel God, like in my chest, right? So like that's how, you know, like God was like basically revealing to me like he's the word was with God, and like basically the closest thing that I have that is physical is the Bible. Is him, is the word of God that is alive and active. So we can approach God. We can approach God's throne of grace. Grace with confidence. Confidence. So that we may receive mercy, because he's so merciful, and find grace to help us in our time of need. So every time that I felt lonely and I needed a companion, Jesus showed up and he was like comforting me with his love, mercy, grace, with his peace, with his presence. And so my prayer is that you guys approach God with confidence in your time of need, whether it's loneliness, whether it's, I don't know, fill in the blank. If you're single or not single, I don't know what your time, what your need is, but I pray that you approach God with confidence. And I know this was a video for like Singleness with Jesus, but like I feel like, you know, it can, approaching God can literally be like for anything, not just in singleness. So yeah.